Hi all. If there is one course or subject that is completely ignored in schools, colleges, it's never taught anywhere, even in colleges, and which is completely surprising for me because it's the most important thing in life, and that's supposed to be the education with respect to money and how to manage your finances. The basic fundamental financial education is missing as a course in any schools or colleges, even to great extent in MBA degrees. They just teach you balance sheet and some basic principles of accounting and just leave you there, and this is a widely ignored subject. And if I'm turning 40 this year, and if you really ask me what's the biggest mistake I did, and if there is a time thing that correction I can do going back, that would be to start investing early in life. I didn't do that, but I that's precisely why I've started this channel, so that I can influence and get more youngsters start investing early in life and gain benefit from the power of time that they have in hand, and get benefit from the magic of compounding. Now, I have created a simple video, and this is the reason I created this video. Very simple three-step process on how to start investing early in life and get benefit from the power of compounding, and thereby achieving financial freedom, which enables you to follow your passion, whatever that may be, at some point of time in life. So here is a step-by-step process which will help you get there. Take a look. So the core message of this first slide is time is your best friend in investing, because starting early really helps to enhance that time period that one remains invested in, and that's how the magical compounding formula work. The formula is P into 1 plus R divided over 100 to the power n is the time period. That's a variable. So there are three variables. N is the time period, R is the rate of return, and P is the initial capital. Now, we don't have too much control on how much initial capital will accumulate and eventually keep investing. We don't have a complete control on the rate of return. We don't have complete control on the principal, but all we have complete control is on the time horizon, because we can expand that, increase that by starting investing early and remain invested for a long periods, being patient. So time is really pretty much in our control in terms of the invested period. And that is precisely why compounding engine can work better if it's running longer. And here's Warren Buffett stating, I made my first investment at the age of 11. I was wasting my life up until then. So that is, very jovial way of telling from Warren Buffett. But, most of us common people, we don't even start investing till 25, 30, even 35 for that matter. Now, the main step, the first step is to start investing early. The next step is to find a circle of financial mentors, and a few books to start. So you need to create a circle of financial mentors, and a few books to augment that. And because the mentors would give us the wisdom from their experiences, mistakes, and best practices. As Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger says, it's a great idea to learn from our mistakes, but it's even better idea to learn from others mistakes. So these experienced investors carry a lot of wisdom, years of decades of experience, so we need to really take advantage of that. And how we can do that is by listening to their videos, by reading the books they have written, and generally finding few books to start early. And there are a lot of materials available. You could also visit sandcompounding.com, which is my website. I put a lot of content there, and also my videos. But also you can see a lot of videos in this digital age to gain the knowledge of financial literacy. Now, learn but develop your own style and convictions on investment. So especially for folks who are investing in interested to investing in equities is it's a different ball game. You will be directly investing in stocks or equities, and that's a lot of risk involved, and you're playing with your capital. So you need to preserve your capital, which is the most important thing and the only raw material that you have. So one needs to develop their own conviction. Do not follow blindly what other people have done. Some people have the great ability to identify nets, what Benjamin Graham calls, or the cheap bargains on value investing based on the asset pricing. There are many folks who can invest geographically widespread and find the next great market. There are people who invest very nicely in growth stocks, technology stocks, and all of that. So find your own niche and build your own conviction to start investments. If nothing works, get an index funds and start there, because that's the right place to start. And the third part is, don't try to save on books, because they are so valuable. They're valuable, many millions over long term if you take the application of those books. Although they might seems to be appearing costly on Amazon, like 50, $60, sometimes $30. Look for books which are used, which will still serve the purpose in Amazon, and it can save a lot of cost. But do not try to push off buying a book because it seems to be optically pricey. But the advantages that you gain from experiences of these authors and great financial mentor is invaluable. So it's priceless. So that is precisely what I want to cover here. So that covers the second step. So define and find your circle of mentors and few books to start with. That's more important. And finally, how do you merge these two things together? This is the third step. There are two parts I put here. The first box in green says investing in equities is the first step. Start early, open a brokerage account immediately, and start even if it's small. So these two things in the green boxes should be started, even if it's small. It should be started now, right? So don't wait for that big capital to start. And the second box, I'll come to that. The first box talks about investing in equities, open a brokerage account, start even small, and get on a self-reinforced multiplier effect, which means seeing more gains, and wealth needs to incentivize to save, and more investments further. So it will be a self-reinforcing multiplier effect. When you open a brokerage account and you see, even if it's a 4K 5K put in there, and you see that increasing to 6K 10K over 1 year period, that's brilliant. So that itself incentivizes us to save more, because we feel it's self reinforcing, and that energy comes to put more money in, and we want to accumulate that wealth eventually and let that compounding engine flow. So the savings becomes more. We trying to save more, we trying to put more money and make it compound more. So it's a self reinforcing cycle. Get into that engine and get into that cycle. The second box talks about investing in a parallel passion path. So spend at least an hour every day on a passionate venture. I do that. It's very important we spend at least an hour or two every day, and more on weekends, on the passionate venture. The current thing I'm doing on the videos is my passion on investing, and increase it slowly, so that, and calibrate it way in such a way that eventually that parallel path becomes your main path. And that's precisely why you need the financial independence. For when you have the independence, you will be able to pursue that second box, which is your parallel passion path, and that becomes your main path. So even if it's small, like an hour, spend that. Even if it's small, even 1K 2K amount, start there. Bring these two together over long periods of time, these two boxes merging together. It's a beautiful merging point where you the long period of compounding would create wealth, create financial freedom for us, and then we will be able to spend rest of our lives doing what we love. That's a ultimate liberation point where we want to take it to, and this is the key mantra for investing success. So if you like this business analysis, you can also visit sandcompounding.com, where I have a lot of discussions on different businesses. I've done analysis, video report, and articles, which are all for consumption for common investors. Do visit there, and also subscribe to this channel for more such videos. Thanks for staying with me.